You promise yourself you're going to quit, maybe 5 times, maybe 20. You hold out for a few days, gritting your teeth, white-knuckling it, and then real life breaks your plan. A hard day, stress, boredom, and you end up right back where you started. The scariest part isn't the relapse itself. The scariest part is what happens in your head afterward. You start thinking something is fundamentally wrong with you, that everyone else gets it, but you don't, that you have zero willpower, that you're just weak, and that this loop is forever. But listen to me carefully. You aren't weak. You're just fighting the wrong enemy with the wrong weapons, and you know what? The very thing that feels like your greatest weakness right now actually used to save you. The Japanese understood this long before modern life coaches, self-help books, and change your life in 21 days challenges. Samurai, Zen monks, master craftsmen, they never made willpower the centerpiece of everything. They knew a simple psychological law. Humans don't change through sudden, massive leaps. They change through rhythm. Today, I'm going to show you a path that doesn't break your mind, but restores that rhythm. We're going through 6 stages. Watch until the very end. The story about the Samurai Kanoya in the outro might permanently change how you look at failure. Most people think like this. I smoke. I lack willpower. I binge eat at night. I'm weak. I doom scroll for hours. I'm stupid. We slap labels on ourselves, and it's this exact shame that makes us helpless. But Japanese psychology looks at it differently. Remember this: every bad habit you have once saved you. You reach for a cigarette because it gave you a pause during a brutal moment. You overeat because food became warmth and protection when you felt lonely. You scroll endlessly because it drowned out your anxiety. The problem isn't the habit. The problem is the pain you band-aided with that habit. And as long as you try to defeat the habit with brute force, you are doomed to walk in circles. Promise, attempt, relapse, shame. Years just slip away. An ancient Zen school had a saying, "Do not fight the fog, or you will only walk deeper into it." When you try to break an addiction by force, you spark a riot inside yourself. One part wants a new life. The other desperately clings to the old, proven survival method. The more you ban junk food, the more you crave it. The louder you scream, "Starting Monday," the faster you break by Wednesday. It's not weakness. It's just your brain looking for a familiar road. So we don't start with a war. We start with observation. There was a Tokyo businessman. Smoked for 20 years. Tried everything: patches, hypnosis, oaths. Relapsed every single time, until a monk told him, "You're trying to conquer it again. Try making friends with it." "With a cigarette?" the businessman asked, surprised. "As long as you see it as an enemy, you're at war with a part of yourself. Just slow down. The rule: when you want to smoke, don't forbid it. Just take the cigarette and hold it for 10 minutes. Don't light it. Just hold it." A week later, his cravings got shorter. A month later, rarer. In 3 months, he quit completely. Not on willpower, through mindfulness. It's evening. A dark room. The urge rises. It feels like you either surrender or fight for your life. In one martial arts school, a master would take his student out to the raging ocean and say, "Stand before the wave, endure it, do not move." The wave knocked him off his feet, over and over. The master said, "You are trying to be stronger than the ocean. You need to be more flexible. Fight the urge, it grows. Run from it, it chases you. Observe it, and it disappears." A craving is not a dragon. A craving is a wave. A wave has phases: a slight impulse, a massive peak, minutes of pure hellish tension, and a crash. You are used to acting right at the peak. The rule works because, for the first time, you don't argue with it. You just wait. First, the wave crashes over you. Then, it pulls back. After 10 minutes, the desire is no longer a dictator commanding your actions. It's just background noise. Most relapses happen not at the peak, but when a person decides to surrender too early. The key: when the peak passes, Your decision comes from clarity, not from impulse. The samurai used to say, "Name a demon, and it loses half its power." Your craving hides behind excuses. "I just need to relax. Just this once. I'm exhausted." In Zen, there's a practice. When the urge hits, say it out loud without judgment. This is the desire to smoke. This is anxiety. This is boredom. This is an attempt to escape a hard task. In that exact moment, a shift happens. You separate yourself from the impulse. Now it's not, "I want." It's, "A desire has appeared inside me." And where there is distance, there is freedom. The urge stops being a monster and becomes a simple sensation you can wait out. Sometimes, one precise sentence is stronger than an hour of fighting. The real enemy isn't your desires. It's living on autopilot. Your hand reaches for your phone not because you need it, but out of pure habit. In Japanese culture, there is ICHIGO ICHIE. One encounter, one moment. This exact moment will never happen again. Not in this state, not with this heart, not at this point in your life. A samurai would practice a sword strike thousands of times, but treat each one as if it were his first. Bring this into your life. Hand reaching for the phone. Stop. Count. 1, 2, 3. Not to forbid yourself, but to take back control. 3 seconds, and you are the master of the moment again, not a slave to the impulse. Imagine a house with a missing wall, a gaping hole, pure emptiness. That's your psyche. If you take away a habit but give it nothing new, the void will pull you right back. The question isn't, "How do I quit?" It's, "What am I trying to numb? What can I replace it with?" Instead of doom scrolling, 5 minutes with a pen and paper. Instead of junk food, tea and a few deep breaths. The new ritual has to be ridiculously simple, or your brain will reject it. And most importantly, change the context. You smoke on the balcony? Don't go out there. Scroll in bed? Charge your phone across the room. Change the stage, and you break the script of the habit. It works faster than any oath you swear. Often, you don't need heroism. You just need a new 5-minute script. In Japanese legends, a warrior fought a demon at his door every night. He fought, he ran, he hid, but the demon only grew. His master told him, "You are feeding it with your fear. Next time, just open the door, bow, and say, 'Come in, I am listening.'" The warrior did exactly that. The demon shrank to the size of a child and vanished within a month. Here is how this vicious cycle works. You feel an urge. The urge triggers the fear of relapsing. The fear creates stress. The stress amplifies the urge. You relapse, you punish yourself. The shame multiplies the stress, and the cycle repeats all over again. The fear of relapsing causes the relapse. The more terrified you are of falling, the faster you push yourself toward it. Accept this. You might stumble. And if you do, it's not fatal. This is what it means to die before the battle. Stop fearing the fall itself. A relapse is not the end. It's part of the path, a sign showing where it still hurts. Don't drown in guilt. Observe. Were you exhausted, angry, lonely? Figure it out and keep moving. Right now, not on Monday. A relapse is a comma, not a period. The principle is simple. Act based on your path, not your mood. Emotions are waves. Action is a constant. Japanese woodworkers have a tool called a nomi. It's a small chisel. One strike, a second, a third. Day after day, year after year. That is how temples were built that stand for centuries. A tiny action, repeated many times, is stronger than 1,000 loud promises. One last story. They say there was once a young samurai named Kanoya. He was the weakest in his dojo. He lost almost every spar. They laughed at him. They considered him a man born for defeat. But Kanoya had one unbreakable trait. He always showed up tomorrow. He made no loud declarations. He didn't promise everything would change in a week. He didn't try to look stronger than he was. He just came back every single day and took his small step. A few sword strikes, an hour of stance work. Sometimes, just stepping onto the training floor even when he had zero energy. Years went by, and one day, the dojo masters noticed his strikes had become perfectly precise. His stance, monolithic. His breathing, deep and calm. He didn't wake up great one day. He simply outgrew everyone else, millimeter by millimeter. When asked how he became such an incredibly strong warrior, he was genuinely surprised and answered, "I don't feel strong, I just stopped stopping." Those words went down in history, because that is the truth of the path. The winner isn't the one who never falls. It's the one who doesn't betray himself after the fall. You no longer have to wage an endless war with yourself. You just pause. You name the demon. You change the stage. And you take one honest step. And one morning, you will wake up and realize you've become a completely different person. If this video hit home, drop a like so it reaches the people who really need to hear it today. Subscribe to the channel. We decode ourselves here without the fluff, the noise, or empty promises. See you in the next one.